Hello my friends, and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm of course Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the two idiots playing board games. And today, I got another painting video. It's going to be some Battletech minis again, and I'm going to be doing another clan star. This one's going to be Clan Wolf. I've done it before. I don't know if I did it. I think I did it on camera before. When I did it before, because now I'm going to talk about the color scheme. So I've noticed on Camo Specs online, there when you click on a specific faction, whether it be one of the houses, whether it be one of the clans or mercenaries, there's like different kind of like divisions within the force, and some of them have different color schemes. So I looked into it for Clan Wolf, and yes, the first one I did was mainly just green, and then then I would do the details. But this one's a bit different. So I looked into another one, and it said so. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. So the top half for this particular star is going to be like a tannish color, and the bottom half is going to be dark gray, which is, I mean, I've never done something like that before, where it's like almost like two base coats, one on top, one on bottom. So it's going to be a bit interesting, and let me show you what I got here. So start off with the one that I actually have Mech Warrior information for. We got the, the Locust 2C. So now this, I think, normally would be an Innisphere mech, but they do sometimes have them for the clans. So there's that. Then there's the Mongrel. Sorry, let me turn it a bit more. There we go. All right, now this one here was one that I bought from Ironwind Metals years ago. I was gonna build my own clan, but now I decided that I'm just gonna do what's already there. So this is Vulture. Yeah, this was the color scheme I was gonna do from my own, but like I said, I decided nah. All right, next we have the Summoner. Okay, and last but not least, the Timberwolf. Now this one here is it says on a TC, but so this one here basically, Catalyst Labs, they have on their own shop, on the shop, like the store on their own site, they actually have what they call premium mechs. And now this is one of them. It's one that you put together, and then they give you a choice of like they have a couple of different leg choices, a couple of different arm choices, but like the torso is basically the same. But that's where I got this from, because I know this the other Timberwolves didn't quite look like this, especially the missile racks. They look more square. These ones are a little bit more flat. But you know what? I decided, I looked at this and I was like, you know what? I need to use it. I do have other Timberwolf mechs still ready to go for other clans that I could put together. But I think some of them might have to wait until I get more battlemechs. I'm starting to run out of the clan ones, so and I don't want to just arbitrarily take Innisphere ones and make them into clans. So I'm just gonna wait until I have what I need, and then I'll do. Besides, I have plenty of battlemechs for the Innisphere, and yeah, I could do plenty of reinforcements. So yeah, so this is basically, I'm considering this like making reinforcements, because it's just one star. If I was going to build a force, I would have the elementals, possibly vehicles. I still have to look into, there's like a master unit list. I know sometimes the clans don't use vehicles, but sometimes they do, so I have to actually look into that and see what I can do about that. But anyway, to the task at hand. So yeah, I'm going to be doing these in the colors of Clan Wolf. The top is going to be tan, the bottom is going to be dark gray. So first thing I'm going to do is prime these, and when the primer is dry, I will be back with the base coat. So stay tuned, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and well, funny thing about the primer. So I started off with gray, and then after 2 battle mechs, the gray ran out. Sorry for this glare, because I'm sitting across from a window, and the sun's beating in. So sorry about that. And my blinds aren't dark enough to block the light. Well, anyway, so yeah, so for these two, oops, I'm almost dropping them here. So these 2 battle mechs, gray, the rest are in black. But it's a good thing I had more primer, because then I'd have to delay this video even further. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, we're going to be doing this in the colors of Clan Wolf, and this color scheme is top part. I found a nice tan. I don't know if it's a sandy tan, but it's tan, and I got dark gray for the bottom. So let's get to it. All right, let's point this down, and there you go. Most of the glare is gone. Yay. All right, so I'm going to do the top half first. And I'm probably going to have to let that dry before I go to the bottom half. Because I don't want to have anything bleeding through. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to take it directly from here. I don't want to have you know, colors bleeding through. Okay, yeah. So I actually had a little bit of a delay of making these videos, but it's for a very good reason. And that reason is that it was my son's 19th birthday. It was actually a couple of days ago on, well, it's like today is Sunday. Normally I would do videos on Saturday. So yeah, so you know, normally do the videos on Saturday, but what happened, so his birthday was actually on Thursday. And but he was at his mother's. You know, it was her, you know, her time to have, you know, to have the kids with him. And yes, even though they are adult children, you know, they don't want to leave their mom alone, so they still go back and forth. So anyway, so yeah, so he was there for the day of his birthday. I mean, I did call him, of course, but you know, wasn't able to really spend any time with him, especially since I was working. But you know, that's another story too. But so yeah, so yesterday, you know, they came back and you know, we did a birthday celebration. You know, had a nice dinner. It's like normally, like in my family, my mom started a tradition of raviolis, which is great. I love raviolis, and so does, you know, so do both my kids. But my son likes Big ZD better. So that's what I was. So that's one of the things I had to do. I was making Big ZD, you know, for him for his birthday. And actually I did make a video of me making Big ZD once. So you know, if you ever, if anybody wants to see that, you know, just look it up. You know, it is out there. I forget how many months ago I did it, but yeah, it's out there. So anyway, you know, so he's got to be the oddball. He wanted Big ZD, which I have no problem making, of course. And yeah, so just, you know, spend time, and then also an added factor is, see, you know, I'm in New York. We had a very, very major storm recently, and basically our temperatures have stayed below freezing the entire time. So we have a lot of snow and ice, especially, you know, especially still on the streets. Staten, you know, I live in Staten Island, and Staten Island was not properly plowed or salted. We have on a lot of the corners walls, I mean like 3-foot walls of snow and ice, and it's very hard to get around. I actually, because we always do the errands on Saturday, and I would always walk pulling a wagon that has all the groceries in it. Well, I was saying, because I had stayed home for personal reasons on Friday, and I had to go to the bank. And while I was out there, you know, going to the bank, and you know, I was looking at everything, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way we're gonna be able to get around with that wagon, because it's like, it's, you know, it was basically like, you know, yes, a lot of the sidewalks were shoveled, but there was not there was not enough room for you know, where we would be able to have the wagon. Just, you know, it was really, really bad. Wound up, so yesterday, you know, we did you know, we did that. We got there. We did the you know, we did the shopping. As a matter of fact, he got, after his mom dropped him off, he got his mom to drive us there. But, she was not going to be able to drive us back. So I wound up taking an Uber to do that. And I'm glad I did, but because I've been dealing with, the snow and the ice for most of the week, I was exhausted. And the deep freeze has been really wreaking havoc with the arthritis in my knees. So yeah, it was very unpleasant. So as you see here with the tan color on the mechs that have the black primer, the black is kind of bleeding through a bit, but we're going to work with that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, so made the ziti. We had the nice birthday celebrations. I actually, because I made enough ziti where we had it for, we had it in the in the afternoon, like around 2ish. Then in the evening we had it again. We had, there was plenty to have. All right, let me give it a little bit extra on some of these areas. So yeah, so I was a bit busy yesterday, and then once everything was all said and done, I just relaxed. I was like, it was kind of late, and I was like, all right, I pretty much had resolved that I was gonna do the videos today instead. Actually, originally I was gonna do them on Friday, but what happened was after I had, I went out to the bank and all that, and the trip was not very pleasant, and for some reason the bus that would take me there was not really running too frequently. As a matter of fact, when I got to the bus stop, I had to wait about 45 minutes, which, for during the day is quite a wait, So by the time, I got back and I was actually getting all set, I actually put this star together, and I was sitting here at this table, and I was saying to myself, you know what? So I'm feeling a bit tired. I'd rather not be recording while I'm fighting, fighting fatigue. So I decided to lay down. Next thing I know, it was the evening. I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, all right, okay, I guess I'm doing them on Sunday. Yeah, well, such is the life, I guess. I mean, I don't claim my life is exciting. I have funny moments here and there. Alright, so for the most part, I'm getting this paint on without dripping it onto the lower half. For the most part. Little bits here and there, so it's not too bad. Of course, when I do the dark gray, it's probably not going to run. I shouldn't run into the same issue. And I'm not going to worry about the parts that are weapons bleeding through too much, because I am going to go over them with gunmetal. Yeah. But anyway, yes, it was my son's birthday. He turned 19. So, yeah. And I know he's got road tests lined up soon. I'm hoping that he passes, and then he's going to continue a career path that I helped him formulate. I won't go into it because, they don't really want me talking about them too much. And I do get it, they want their privacy, and I try to respect it as much as I can. Okay, ooh, there's a bit more bleeding through on the sides here. Let's get this. Okay, oh, get a little more on top. I thought I was done with this one. Oh, actually, this is the last one. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it's probably best that I let that dry before I move on to the next color. So, clean the brush. Let me take this thing off. Okay, sorry about the glare again. All right, so I'm going to let that paint dry, and when I come back, I'm going to get the dark gray on the lower half of these mechs. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. I'm back, and the tan paint has dried. I'm going to start on the dark gray. All right, let's get to it. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. So I have noticed when I went on the Camo Specs site that I get all the color schemes for, and I'll tell you something. When I was first doing this, before I was doing the channel, I felt very, very fortunate that I found that site, because I had no idea what color schemes each of the factions, like the the mercenary companies, all that, the clans. I didn't know what any of them were, so I felt very fortunate to find that site. So whoever it was that came up with that, I humbly thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. Because the way I usually operate with these games, especially when you're painting pieces to go to a specific faction or whatever, I like to actually know how they would look and try to get it, pretty much to look exactly like it. Okay. Get from here. Yeah. So yeah, that's, for me, like I said, it was very much stroke of good luck that I found it. And and as far as like the different like divisions within, I'm glad that they're very, very thorough on that, because especially for this channel, if I'm going to be painting multiple units, multiple lances, stars, whatever, and the colors, of specific, factions, and and then do it for the channel, I don't want to keep doing the same color schemes over and over and over again. That could get very monotonous and a bit boring. So at least I know that when I do the same ones, I can change up the color scheme. And besides, as far as like, that's also a good reason for me to do the labels on each and every unit and piece and whatever, because this way I can do those different color schemes and still say, oh, okay, this is for this this mercenary company, or for this clan, or for this yeah faction with in the Indosphere. Okay, just getting a little bit here, a little bit there. All right. Okay, yeah, so it's a good way to switch it up. Especially since I was finding out that so many of the different factions were kind of using the same color schemes there. I mean, most of them were green or some shade of green, and it was like only that, and I was like, oh, it's like a lot of these are going to look exactly the same. So yeah, knowing that I can switch it up, does help. And eventually these will appear on Tabletop Jones Productions. Because I mean, John and I have been experiencing a lot of delays due to our own personal jobs, like our personal lives, personal jobs. We are not in a position where we can just retire and just do these channels. Hey, we're actually nowhere near that. We want to get there, but it's going to take a while for that to happen. All right, this one here, unfortunately the tan got still a little wet over there. I thought I gave it enough time. Maybe it'd be better on some of these other ones. Yeah, because I'm trying to make a big push on Tabletop Jones Productions, a big push for us to get more video out more often. And we started off good. We had played the game Marvel Crisis Protocol. I mean, you've seen me paint many of those pieces. I mean, the characters. You've seen me paint a lot of them on this channel. And I probably went a little too quickly because I don't have any more at the moment. I have to wait until I can get some more. But anyway. So we basically recorded that, and we played it, we recorded it, and then we spent the next, well, it was supposed to be just 1 week, but it wound up being a couple of weeks because we had gotten delayed because of personal obligations. But we had gotten it, we had broken it down into 3 videos, and we got the first one out fairly quickly. And then we got the next 2 out a couple of weeks after that. But we didn't. The goal was to have them all released at once, not to wait. So the next game, I mean, I suggested Battletech. I mean, for right now, we're going to do the Alpha Strike mode. Of play, and mainly because it's a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. Eventually we will do Classic, but I'm not sure if we're going to do it here. We might try to restart up the Patreon, try to make an attempt at that again. And since that would be more elaborate and time consuming, would probably be exclusive content for that one. But also on my own channel, on Patreon, because I do have, the Kev's Hobby Showcase is on Patreon. I'm sure I've mentioned it a number of times. I will keep mentioning it because unfortunately I do not have any members yet. At least as of right now, I haven't looked today, but as far as I know, I do not have any. And from time to time, I will have. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm apologizing, but this is my piece. Well, anyway, as I was saying, from time to time, I will have this game as exclusive content because I do post a lot of these, a lot of the videos I'm doing here on YouTube as free content. But actual gameplay is exclusive. Alrighty. Yeah, so gameplay is exclusive. For right now, I'm playing games that I can actually play by myself because I don't have a steady partner to play against. At least not yet. But, you know, I am working on that. Oops. There we go. All right, so anyway, we're going to let that paint dry. So, I mean, like I said, I think I did a you know, pretty good, you know, like, because it's not like one bleeding, except for the one piece where it was still a little bit wet. It's not like the top bleeding into the bottom. So I think I got it pretty good. So next would be gunmetal on all the things, everything that looks like a weapon, and of course the cockpit window. Touch up the base, and then after that it's just basing and wash. All right, so anyway, let's let this paint dry, and I will be right back. Okay, so the gray paint is now dry, and we're going to get started on some of these on the details, which basically is gunmetal. All right. Okay. And as far as touching up the base, we're not going to have to do it on too many, because the ones where I used the black primer, it's pretty much already the color that I want it to be. All right. Okay, this has got some things that may or may not be weapons, but I'm gonna fill it in anyway. Okay, trying to keep a steady hand on that. There we go. And there's a little too much on the brush. All right, I guess sometimes when you gotta say when in doubt, fill it in. All right. Okay, so there we go with the vulture. Alright. Yeah, when I got this one, I was amazed at how thin a lot of the pieces were that I had to glue together. Okay. And I have to admit, some of these brushes are getting a little frayed. I'm going to have to, I mean, I do have some in reserve. I may have to start taking them out of reserve. Let's get this. Some nice long guns on the side here. Oh boy, here we go. So being that this is Sunday, I started early. It's why the sun is where it is. Normally I would start in the afternoon where the sun's a little bit higher in the sky and further along the side of my house. But, you know, let's see, what time is it anyway? Oh, it's not even 11 yet, so it's not even the afternoon yet. And I'm going to get this done, and I'll get these out sometime this afternoon. I'll work on all my YouTube stuff first. I want to get that stuff out nice and quick. And I'd like to give a shout out to anybody who just recently became a subscriber. I have actually climbed to 62 subscribers. That's what I have at the moment. I'm very, very happy. My goal, of course, is to, as soon as possible, make it to 75. And I don't know, maybe when I finally hit 75, maybe I'll try to get something to, get something to do something nice on the channel, like a, I don't know if it'll be Battletech related or Marvel related, or actually, because I've also been breaking out my Star Trek minis. Maybe I'll try to get something with that going. All right. This one I'm going to get the entire thing. But of course, I'm sorry, I got quiet. Once I reach 75, the next goal is 100. And I have to say, especially in the beginning, it's kind of sort of picked up recently in recent months, which I am very grateful for. It was very slow going in the beginning, where I would like maybe pick up a subscriber or two, and then it would be like weeks or in some cases months before I picked up another one. And I don't know, that might have been also due to the fact that near the beginning I wasn't doing them every week like this. I was doing them like once every 3 or 4 weeks, and then I was doing 5 videos at a time. And unfortunately, that's where I kind of blew through most of my Marvel minis. That's what I was mostly doing. I was also painting some minis to the Star Wars games that I have, but I have run out of those. I haven't currently bought any more, and I haven't had the opportunity to buy any more. And of course, when I say opportunity, I do mean because of my finances. I've been very open about that, and I don't want anybody to think that I have just money to burn on this stuff. That's why I'm really trying to push to keep on approaching monetization. I'm still a long way off from that. But, with every new subscriber, I inch ever closer. And it's not just subscribers, also got to get the views up. I have noticed since I started making shorts that my views have gone up quite significantly. Okay. So I'm just going to keep on plugging away. And of course, that means with every type of video that I do, I'm trying to always come up with new things to talk about when I do the comic book discussions. I will be setting up a Discord to go along with that. Actually, I might be setting up a Discord to go along with all of this, because I opened up a Discord account. I just haven't set up anything yet. thought it would be more elaborate to have my daughter showing me how to use Discord. She's very familiar with it, and then it just turns out it was, you know, not as involved as she maybe originally had me thinking it was. Yeah, but I will be setting that up. Yeah, go along with all of this, and I'll go, have it go along possibly if I needed to with everything I'm doing on Patreon. And yes, I do plug Patreon. I do say that a lot of these videos will appear there as free content. I still desire the YouTube subscriptions because, it does, like I said, it helps me get towards monetization. And yes, Patreon does, the exclusive stuff is for paid members, and I am looking to, do that as well. But, I just it's like I'm trying to get both of them going at the same time. And I just put my finger in that. Trying to get myself in a position where I have pretty much a lot of options. Because the ultimate goal is to be able to do this. Hold on, my hand went to sleep. The ultimate goal is to do this, for a living. I would like to be able to retire from my job, which is a very physical job, and it's been very taxing. I mean, I'm 54 years old, and don't know how long my body can take it, but, I keep pushing through. But eventually I would like to walk away from it. Walk away from it before I'm carried away from it. Yeah. And also, I will be promoting my writing more, because I'm pretty much just about done. I have to do the final draft of a story that I've been working on, calling it The New Age of Heroes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm calling, like I said, calling it The New Age of Heroes. I mean, if the only thing I wish I knew how to do was draw, because then I would make it into a comic series, like make my own comic books. But I do not draw well. And unfortunately, at the moment, I do not have the money to hire someone to draw for me. So I just gotta plug away with what I can. Just make do with what I can. Make do with what I have. And I think that's it. Yep. Alright, that's it for that. Now I just gotta see, before I take another break, I gotta see, because like the bases that I use the black prime, the bases for the ones that I use the black primer on, those bases are going to be just fine. They're going to be, yeah, I could tell right now there's really nothing to it with those. It's just these two that I gotta touch up. Just grab the same damn color. Alright, so let's get the bases on these ready to go. And I know I've explained it several times, but I'll go over it again. The only reason I make a big deal about, with the bases and putting the labels on is because you know, I just do it for identification purposes, you know, because I mean, I don't think there's like so many of them and so many different forces I'm trying to put together that I don't think I would remember each and every one of them on an individual basis. So it makes it a lot easier for me to identify what I have, especially with the battlemechs and even with the vehicles. There's like so many different ones. I mean, I'll never be able to identify them all. All right, let me just see if there's anything that has to be done. Actually, just a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. All right. All right, that's it for that one. How about this one? Oh. Yeah, this one here. I forgot. The base was not originally black. Okay. Kind of sort of fixes that. This one is just fine. Okay. All right. Getting closer to the finish line. Okay. So I'm gonna let all that paint dry. When I come back, I'll have the labels on already and be ready for basing and the wash. So yes, and like I said, I do the labels off camera because I do have to cut them down. It is hard to get the backs off. I just don't want to do all that struggling on camera, and as I said, it might make the video a little too long. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna let this dry, like I said, and when I come back, we're gonna do the basing, which I'm probably gonna do in snow again. I mean, I've been doing it, but I do have a lot of it, so I'm just gonna keep on doing that until I decide to do something else, and so I'm gonna do that, and then the wash, and then it's all finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that paint has dried, and I just realized I forgot to hit record before. Yay. So I have the finished product. All right, so let me just show it to you. So obviously I did, well, I don't know if you could see it too well on this. I did the base in snow, and I did the wash. So here we go. Star of Battlemechs in the colors of Clan Wolf, ready to be deployed. All right, so I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I do apologize for the last bit. This happened once before, but I never actually saw it when I was doing a lance for House Marek, and wound up having to not do the video, not do the video because I noticed it too late. Not this time. So anyway, please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible. I am currently at 62 subscribers. I'd like to make it to 75 relatively soon. Also, please go to Tabletop Jones Productions and like, subscribe, and share over there as well. We are at 31. We'd like to make it to 50 so we can live stream games, and that's where it's going to get very interesting. This game will be appearing there. I'm going to be pushing to have it a bit more often, because I do have a lot of forces, a lot of a lot of different possibilities. So John and I hopefully will be playing the game more often, and hopefully get him a lot more familiar with the game, and hopefully it'll be some good gameplay. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time watching. I hope you found this maybe even just a little bit informative. And just have a great day. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you again.